Today's Royal Navy is among the most professional and technologically advanced naval forces in the world. Its ships are exceptionally capable, its crews highly trained, and its doctrine refined by decades of joint operations. But it is also small. In a modern conflict, the loss of even a single major warship would be a strategic and political shock. Unlike in World War II, there is little depth to absorb losses. Replacement ships take years, not months. Skilled shipbuilders are limited and supply chains stretch across continents. This raises an uncomfortable question. Even if the will existed, could Britain actually rebuild a fleet at anything close to World War II scale? The answer remains deeply uncertain. Britain no longer possesses the industrial depth or manpower reserves that once allowed it to expand its navy rapidly. Shipyards are fewer, designs are complex, and naval construction now moves at peacetime pace. For many Britons, this reality leaves a foul taste in the mouth. The nation that once survived by the sea now struggles to even imagine replacing losses during a prolonged naval war. The concern is not about tradition or courage. It is about capacity. During World War II, Britain and the United States fought naval battles of attrition. Ships were sunk, sometimes daily. Crews were lost. Fleets were damaged, repaired, and sent back to sea. Victory did not come from perfection, but from endurance. The Royal Navy entered the war with an aging fleet, stretched across the globe. It survived not because every ship was superior, but because Britain accepted losses and continued fighting. Convoys sailed even when escorts were sunk. Damaged ships returned to action with scars still visible. The United States Navy meanwhile transformed industrial capacity into a weapon. By the later years of the war, American shipyards were producing warships faster than the Axis powers could destroy them. Entire classes of ships were designed for speed of construction, not elegance. This was the reality of total war at sea. The United States faces its own challenges. Modern American warships are expensive, complex, and slow to build. Shipbuilding programs routinely face delays and cost overruns. On paper, this suggests vulnerability. Yet history offers a different perspective. During World War II, the United States did not simply build ships. It reshaped its entire economy around war production. Shipyards appeared almost overnight. Designs were simplified, standardization replaced customization, and warships became products of industrial momentum. If a Third World War demanded such a transformation again, the United States would have a far better chance of reigniting large-scale warship production than any other nation. The industrial base still exists, even if it lies dormant. The challenge would not be ability, but willingness. Modern America would need to abandon perfection in favor of speed. Advanced systems would have to be simplified. Production would need to be measured in hulls per month, not capabilities per platform. History suggests the United States could do this, if forced to. China, the new industrial sea power. Any comparison between modern navies and their World War II predecessors is incomplete without addressing China. Unlike Britain and the United States, China did not inherit a global naval tradition, shaped by 20th-century wars. Instead, it has built its fleet almost entirely in the modern era, and it has done so at a pace unseen since the 1940s. China already possesses the materials, the shipyards, and the industrial coordination required to produce warships in large numbers. Commercial shipbuilding dominates its coastal regions, and military construction exists alongside it rather than apart from it. This matters. In wartime, civilian yards can be converted, production can be simplified, and output can be scaled without starting from zero. In raw industrial terms, China already outproduces both Britain and the United States in shipbuilding tonnage. This does not automatically translate into wartime naval dominance, but it does echo a familiar historical pattern. In World War II, industrial capacity did not guarantee victory, but shaped how long nations could fight. China's ships may not match Western vessels in certain areas of experience or global reach, but they do not need to. A prolonged war would reward consistency, replacement, and the ability to accept losses without strategic collapse. On that front, China begins with an advantage neither Britain nor America can ignore. The question is no longer whether China could build many ships in wartime. The question now is whether Western navies could match that pace without fundamentally changing how they design, build, and fight at sea. Modern navies fear attrition. Both Britain and the United States now design ships to avoid losses, not absorb them. Modern doctrine prioritizes deterrence, precision, and technological dominance. World War II taught a different lesson. Ships were expected to be damaged. Crews were trained to fight fires and flooding as part of combat. Survival was a weapon, and a ship that stayed afloat could fight again. Modern warships are powerful, but fragile in different ways. Electronics, sensors, and networking are difficult to repair under fire. A single hit can remove a ship from the fight without sinking it. In a prolonged war, this creates a dangerous imbalance between losses and replacements. If a third world war broke out, both navies would be forced to change. Britain would need to confront hard choices about scale, allies, and reliance on coalition warfare. It could no longer fight alone in the way it once did. The United States would need to relearn how to build fast, build simple, and build in numbers. Both would need to accept that survival at sea is not about having the best ship, but having enough ships left to keep fighting. World War II was not won by perfect fleets. It was won by nations that could endure. Thank you for watching. If you found this analysis interesting or useful, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It genuinely helps us continue researching, producing, and telling these stories in depth. Your support allows us to explore not just individual warships, but the bigger questions behind naval power and history. Stay tuned, because next we will be turning our attention to the Japanese, Italian, and French navies, comparing their modern fleets to their World War II counterparts and the lessons they carry forward. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you in the next one.